Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box, the one for November 2025. It's called Leaf Season. And then I have a couple of things that came in the October box. And then I have some seed beads and things like that from my stash. I'll put a link in the description box below to the page on the Potomac Beads website where you can go and read about both of their subscription boxes and sign up if it's something that you're interested in. And here I have the RounDuo beads that came in the November box. The color is Turquoise Picasso. And for the bracelet that I'm going to do and the way that I'm going to do it, I didn't think I had hardly enough. But I thought I remembered getting these in a previous box, so I went and looked back through my beads from previous boxes, and I did. They had sent this same color in a previous box, so I've got plenty, so that's really neat. I really like that. And then in here I've got the 2mm Potomac pearls that came in the November box. The color on these is Cranberry. I've got the 11-0, I believe these are Azuki seed beads. Let me find my little baggie here where they are. Got a, yeah, Azuki 11-0 seed beads. The color is Metallic Dark Bronze, and they're 11-0s. And here I've got some 8-0 Miyuki seed beads that came in the October box. The color is Vintage Copper. Those are 8-0s, and they came in the October box. I've got some 15-0 Miyuki seed beads from my stash. These are Metallic Dark Bronze. I've got the Infinite Cabochon. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Infinite Cabochon clasp that came in the November box in here. And I've got one of the cabochons that they sent with it. And the color on it is Turquoise New Picasso. And I'm going to be using that. And I've got some E6000 that came in the October box that I'm going to use to glue my cabochon in there with. And I've got a little toothpick that I'm going to do that with. And I've got some paper towels over to the side here because I need to put that under it when I do any gluing, because knowing me, I'll get it all over my bead mat if I don't. So I'm using a size 12 beading needle and my 6-pound fire line in smoke. I'm going to be going through these beads a whole lot, so I wouldn't use anything heavier than a 6-pound fire line or bigger than a size 12 beading needle, or you might break a bead and that would be sad. So, and of course I've got my scissors and thread burner to cut and burn down my fire line. I'm going to sew the clasp directly to the bracelet this time. I usually use jump rings and a wire guard, but these clasps have a tiny little jump ring on them. You can see that. Let's see if I get my needle here. It's got a tiny little jump ring on it there. And I tried to see, I think it's soldered. I don't believe it's an open jump ring because I couldn't get it open. And if I wanted to use jump rings to attach it, I would have to add 2 in order to make it lay right, and I didn't want to do that. Of course, I know I could have cut that little jump ring off, but I just didn't want to. I just decided I would sew it directly to the bracelet, so that's what I'm going to do. I think that's everything. I'll try to find links and put links to everything I'm using in the description box below. Everything that didn't come in the box, but all of this came in the box. Actually, the only seed beads from my stash are these 15-0s. Everything else came in either this box or the October box. So, hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my little clasp here, and I'm going to glue my little cabochon in with my E6000. Of course, this is just really simple. Probably didn't even need to show this on video, but I thought I would. So I'm just going to put a little of this in here. Doesn't take much. This is very strong glue. I usually end up putting too much. That in there and try not to get it all over everything else. And I'm going to take my little toothpick and spread it around in there. Okay, maybe I'll use it just a little bit more. I always do this. I think, okay, I just need a little bit more, and then I end up putting too much. But I want to make sure it's spread all over in there. All in the edges and stuff. And then I'm going to take my little cabochon and lay it in there. And I'm going to, got another paper towel here. I'm going to wipe that off the sides there where I got it on the sides. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to bother it until for about 24 hours. Make sure it sets good in there. But I'm going to work on my bracelet in the meantime. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now. Right now all I need are my RounDuos, my 11-Os, and my 8-Os. And like I always say, whenever you're working with multi-hole beads, it's a good idea to check ahead of time and make sure all your holes are clear, that none of them are blocked. Sometimes there might be a hole blocked. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes and I've checked all these already, and as I was checking them, I found one that was blocked. So it's always a good idea to check, because you don't want to get your whole bracelet almost all made and then find a blocked hole. Have to take it all apart. So this is just right angle weave, and then I'm going to embellish it some. So for the left side of my right angle weave box, I'm going to do an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0. I've got two 11-Os on there. I thought I didn't have one. Picked up a second one. Okay. 11-0, 8-0, 11-0. Then for the top of my box, I'm going to have a RounDuo bead. And then for the right side of my box, I'm going to have an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0. And for the bottom of my box, I'm going to have a RounDuo bead. So I'm going to go around all those beads again. I'm going through the same hole of the RounDuo bead. Just going around all of them to reinforce and tighten them up. And I've got a stop bead, and I've just left a little bit of a tail, just enough to hold on to, because I'm going to be going around this little unit here a bunch of times, and my thread will get locked in. I won't have to bother sewing my tail in. I'll just be able to cut it down and cut it down to a little bit and then burn the rest of it off. So I'm going to go keep sewing until I'm coming out of the three, the 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0 opposite my stop bead. So now I'm going to make my next right angle weave unit. So for the bottom of my box, I'm going to have a RounDuo. I've already got the left side of my box. I'm using these three beads for the left side of my box. So for the bottom of my box, I'm going to pick up a RounDuo. For the right side, I'm going to do an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0. And for the top of my box, a RounDuo bead. So I'm coming out of the bottom of those three beads. I'm going to go on the top, go down all three of those beads, and now I'm going to sew around all that again. You might be able to not sew around all these again. That just probably depends on how tight your tension is, and mine is not as tight as I would like it to be for some reason, so I usually have to reinforce. Now I'm going to sew till I'm coming out of these 3 beads here on the right like I did before. And now I'm going to do another right angle weave unit. So I've got the left side of my box. So I'm going to do a round duo bead for the top of my box. And 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0 for the right side of my box. And a round duo bead for the bottom of my box. Coming out of the top of those 3 beads, I'm going to go in the bottom. Go in all 3 of those beads. And then go around all those beads again. And then I'm going to sew until I'm coming out of the 3 beads here. Now I'm going to make my next right angle weave box. So I've already got my left side. So I'll pick up a round duo bead for my top, and 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0 for the right side of my box, and a round duo bead for the bottom. I'm coming out of the top of those 3 beads. I'm going to go on the bottom of them. I'm going to go in all 3 beads. I'm going to sew around all that again, and then just keep going making these little right angle weave units until I get the length that I want. And then when I get the length that I want, I'll be back. Okay, I've got the length that I want now, and now I'm going to put on one side of my clasp here. So I'm going to take, I'm coming out of the bottom of these 3 beads on the end here. I'm going to take 2 8-0s. I'm going to make sure my clasp is laying the way I need it to be. And I'm going to go through that little jump ring on the end there. And I'm going to pick up 2 more 8-0s. And I'm going to go back through these 3 beads here. Like that. Now I'm not going to reinforce this right now because I'm going to be coming back down the bracelet and be back down on this end a couple times. So I'll have a chance to reinforce it then. And I don't want to go through these 3 beads here any more than I have to because I'm already going to be going through them a lot. And I'm afraid if I do that right now, it'll be too much and it'll get too tight in there and I might break a bead. And I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go through this once for right now. So now I've got my 2mm pearls and my 15-0s. So I'm coming out of the bottom of those 3 beads again. I'm going to pick up 2 15-0s, a pearl, these little pearls have tiny little holes, and 2 more 15-0s. I'm coming out the bottom of those 3 beads. I'm going to go diagonally into these 3 beads. And I'm going to pull my beads over top there. Make sure they land over top. Like that. Now I'm going to do that again. 2 15-ohs, a pearl, and 2 15-ohs. And I'm going to go diagonally into these 3 beads. And do that again, 2 15-ohs, a pearl, and 2 15-ohs. And I'm going to go diagonally into these 3 beads. I'm going to keep doing that until I get to the other end, and when I get to the other end, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my top embellishments done now, and now I'm going to put on my other end of my clasp. It's been well over 24 hours since I glued this, so it's not going to come loose. It's in there good. I'm just going to do like I did on the other side. I'm going to pick up 2 8/0s and make sure I've got my clasp laying here so I go through it the right way. I need to go through the jump ring this way. And then I'm going to pick up 2 more 8/0s. And I'm going to go back through these 3 beads on the end here that I'm coming out of. And I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this once. I'm going to be back down here one more time, but not 2. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce it once. Just go back through the 8/0s and the clasp. And back down the 8/0s. And back into those 3 beads. Okay, now I'm going to put some embellishments down the side here. First I'm going to take 3 15/0s. And go into that second hole of that RounDuo. Just to bridge that little gap there. And now I'm going to put pearls between all these RounDuos on the edge here. I'm going to pick up a pearl, go in the next empty hole of the RounDuo bead. Pick up another pearl. Go into the next hole of the next RounDuo bead. Pick up a pearl. Go in the empty hole of the next RounDuo bead. I'm going to do that all the way down, and when I get to the other end, I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my pearls down this side, and now I'm going to reinforce my clasp here. So I'm going to go come out of this RounDuo bead here. I'm going to pick up 3 15/0s. And I'm going to go into these 3 beads on the end here. And now I'm going to go around my clasp 2 more times. Go up the 2/8 through the clasp, down the 2/8, and back into these 3 beads on the end. And then I'm going to go around that again, up the 2/8 into the clasp, down the 2/8, and across these 3 beads here. Okay. So now I'm on the other side, so I'm going to pick up 3 15/0. I'll go into that empty hole of that RounDuo bead, and then I'm just going to put pearls in between all the RounDuo beads on this side. Takes so long to get my needle in these little tiny holes, and then I dropped it. So I'm just going to do that all the way down this side, and when I get to the other end, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my pearls down both sides now, and now I just need to finish the end here. I'm coming out of this RounDuo bead, and I'm going to pick up 3 15/0. And go into these 3 beads here on the end. Okay, I did something wrong there. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, just bridge that little gap there, like I did on this side with those 3 15/0. Now I'm going to go around my clasp again, back up the 2 8/0 in the clasp, and down these 2 8/0, and back through these 3 beads on the end. It's getting tight in there. I might just do this one more time. I don't want to risk breaking a bead. Just got through 2 of the beads. I'll have to go through that last one. Don't want to get into those 15/0. I just want to go through that 11/0. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go down through here and tie 3 half-inch knots and end off my thread, and then when I come back, we'll see what I've got. So I'll be back. Okay, there's my bracelet all done, made with some of the beads from the November 2025 Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box, and a few beads from the October box, the 8/0s, and I could guess the glue from the November box, and then I found a few extra RounDuos from a previous box. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below to the page on the Potomac Beads website where you can go and read about both of their subscription boxes and sign up if it's something that you're interested in. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry. I also sell some grab bags of extra beads that I have, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.